Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another real story with you. On September 10th, 2023, a man calls the police early in the morning and reports that there is a girl's corpse lying by the roadside with severe injuries on her head and body. Her face also looks like someone tried to burn her, and she is a young girl. The body was found near the Raipur police station. After giving this information, the man hangs up. As soon as the police learn about it, they send a team to the location. When the police team arrives at the spot the man described, they find that there is indeed a body lying there. Then the police quickly called the forensic experts, and they collected all the items around the girl. Nothing else was found except an empty toilet cleaner bottle. The police examined the girl but couldn't find any ID card or proof to identify who she was, where she came from, or what her name was. However, the police suspected that she was not from this state, but from another state. The police had no support to determine what the girl was doing there, who had attacked her, or what her home address was. It seemed like the dress she was wearing was very new, as if she had just bought it that day. The police had only found the girl's corpse, her clothes, and a bottle of toilet cleaner found beside her. Apart from that, the police had nothing to determine who the girl was or who might have had a grudge against her. The first challenge for the police was to identify the girl. Only then could they track down her killer. The police said she was found in an area far from the city, a very desolate place with no CCTV cameras. They checked the entry and exit points of the area for any cameras that might show who had entered or exited and at what times. The area where the body was found was very secluded. People would go there for picnics because it had forests and hills, and it was a peaceful place. There was a nearby village, and a villager had called the police at 7 a.m. to report the body. The police concluded that the killer must have dumped the body there the previous night when traffic was minimal. People from far away would come to the area for picnics, and the killer likely took advantage of the reduced activity to leave the body unnoticed. Then the police instructed their team to check the CCTV footage at the exit and entry points of the area. They wanted to see how many vehicles came and went between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. The police began reviewing the CCTV footage and found 10 cameras where vehicles were visible coming and going. They checked each camera from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. when it was still dark. The police noticed that in daylight by 5 a.m., they had seen 240 vehicles arriving and departing. As mentioned earlier, people used to come to that place to engage in various activities. The police compiled a list of these 240 vehicles. The police then checked the times of arrival and departure for these 240 vehicles and noted that the time taken to travel from one point to another was inconsistent. They observed that 18 of the vehicles had arrival and departure times that did not match up. These vehicles took significantly longer, 35 minutes to 45 minutes compared to the usual 20 to 25 minutes. The police made a list of these 18 vehicles because they took longer than the average time of 20 minutes, which raised their suspicion. A police team was focused on reviewing the footage from the CCTV cameras to track the vehicles, while another team was investigating where the girl had bought her dress. Since the dress she wore looked brand new and appeared to be recently purchased, they decided to check the barcode. The police found that the barcode could help identify the store where the dress was bought, when it was purchased, and who bought it. When they checked the barcode, they discovered that the dress was from a brand called Zudio. There were only 2 stores of this brand in Dehradun, so the police visited both. They showed the barcode and the stores confirmed that the dress was theirs. However, they also mentioned that they had sold 8 similar dresses in the past week. The police were then left to determine which one of the 8 dresses belonged to the girl. They asked the stores for the receipts of those 8 dresses, and the stores agreed to provide them, along with the time and date of the purchases. The police planned to review the CCTV footage around the building according to the time and date of the purchases to find any evidence. Then the shop employee gave those bills to the police. The police checked the bill for the date and time and started reviewing the CCTV footage accordingly. As they checked, they found that one day someone had visited the shop, and that person looked like the same girl which police found. She wasn't alone. There was another person with her. The police saw that they spent quite a bit of time inside the shop, and when they came out, both got into an SUV with Army written on it. Yeah, now the police had another piece of evidence, the person in the car and the Army written on it. They wondered if this vehicle was one of the 18 shortlisted from the 240 vehicles. So they matched these 18 vehicles with the ones seen outside the showroom. It turned out that one of the 18 vehicles was indeed this person's. The police needed to find out the vehicle's exit time and when it left the night. They checked the CCTV footage where the entry point was and the exit point. They found that the vehicle's exit time was much later than the other vehicles. There had no traffic or traffic lights, so it was either that the person got stuck in traffic or faced a traffic light issue causing the delay. There was no such indication here, so the reason for the delay was unclear. When the police calculated the speed at which vehicles travel on that route and how long it takes for a vehicle to reach the exit point at that speed, they found that the car belonging to the person was 42 minutes late compared to other vehicle. The police also noted that there were no restaurants or any other factors on the route that could explain the delay. The police had two key points. One, that the person was seen sitting in the car with a girl outside a showroom, and two, that the vehicle was 42 minutes late. To investigate further, the police checked the registration number of the car, which was registered under the name of a Remendu Upadhyay. They also obtained the phone number associated with the registration. The investigation revealed that the person was an Army Lieutenant Colonel stationed in Dehradun. The police realized that it would be difficult to detain a colonel based on these factors alone, being seen with a girl outside a showroom and the 42-minute delay. They decided they needed more substantial evidence. The police then reported the matter to their senior officers, explaining that the case involved a high-ranking Army officer. The senior officers advised that the evidence was insufficient and that more support was needed to strengthen the case. Then the police found that the person, who was a colonel, had two phone numbers. The police had already obtained one number, but they also managed to find the second number and checked its call details. Upon investigation, they examined his phone's location between the 9th and 10th of September. They discovered that his location was showing at the showroom where he was seen on CCTV. After checking his location, they found it matched the showroom footage, and on the 9th and 10th of September, his location showed he was in Raipur, where the girl's body was found. This solid evidence led the police to believe that he was present at the location where the girl's body was discovered. However, the police stated that they needed more evidence, so they tracked down the colonel's house and visited his home. When the police arrived at his house, they informed the colonel that they needed to ask him some questions and first wanted to search his car. The colonel agreed, and during the search of his car, the police found some bloodstains. This strengthened their belief that the colonel was involved in the incident. They then informed the colonel that they needed to take him to the police station for further investigation. After about half an hour of questioning, the police officially arrested him, charging him with murder under Section 302. When news of the colonel's arrest reached the Army contacted the police station superintendent and inquired about the reason for the arrest. The police officer explained that a murder had occurred, and they had solid evidence pointing towards the colonel's involvement. The police then showed all the evidence to the Army, and upon review, the Army also agreed that the police were justified in their actions. In 2020, Colonel was posted in West Bengal. He was married and had a 2-year-old child. While in West Bengal, he visited a dance bar where he met Shreya Sharma, whose real name was Sumitra. She was 25 years old and originally from Nepal. Shreya had come to India from Nepal for work and had found a job. Colonel fell in love with Shreya at first sight. They started talking, and soon their friendship blossomed into love. Even though Colonel's wife and child lived in Uttar Pradesh, he and Shreya began living together in West Bengal after falling in love. Later, Colonel was transferred to Dehradun, where he moved with his wife and child. However, he missed Shreya greatly after relocating. He rented a place for her in Dehradun and asked her to stay nearby. Colonel and Shreya started spending more and more time together. They would meet frequently, go out together, shop, drink, and enjoy each other's company. Eventually, Colonel's wife grew suspicious, and her doubts were confirmed when she learned the truth about Colonel's relationship with Shreya. She even discovered that Colonel and Shreya had been living together in West Bengal. Once Colonel's wife found out where Shreya lived, she confronted her, and they had a big argument. After this confrontation, Colonel's wife returned home. Shreya realized that everyone now knew about her relationship with Colonel, so she began pressuring him to marry her as soon as possible. Now, Colonel was very depressed. On one hand, at his home, his wife had found out about his relationship and the love affair. On the other hand, Shreya kept insisting on marriage, urging him to marry her. Even though he was the one who had told Shreya that he would marry her and that he needed some time, he had also told her earlier that he would leave his wife and marry her. But now he was troubled, so he came up with a plan. On the night of September 9th, he took Shreya from the flat and drove to a very famous bar in Dehradun. There he made Shreya drink a lot of alcohol. Although he himself wasn't much of a drinker, he made sure Shreya drank enough to get heavily intoxicated. When he saw that Shreya was fully drunk, he suggested that they go for a long drive. He put Shreya in the car and they set off on the drive. Then he stopped the car in a deserted spot in Karnal, took out hammer and hit Shreya on the head because she was intoxicated and couldn't understand what was happening. Shreya started bleeding, but still he hit her on the head 2 or 3 more times. When he pulled back a bit, Shreya had died. Then he took Shreya out of the car. He also brought a toilet cleaner with him, which had acid in it, and poured it on her face so that no one could identify her. After that, he cleaned the hammer thoroughly and threw it away in a different location. He then cleaned his car meticulously and drove away. Upon reaching home, he parked the car in the garage and went to sleep, confident that he would never get caught because he believed that working in the army would make it difficult, if not impossible, for the police to gather enough evidence to arrest him. However, he didn't realize that in today's world, everything is captured on CCTV. He forgot that there are cameras everywhere and that he had been recorded. He thought he was so intelligent and clever that he wouldn't get caught, but the police eventually arrested him and put him behind bars. So this was today's story. Thank you for joining us on this journey today. We hope you enjoyed the content and found it valuable.